What's going on, everybody? You already know what it is, who it is. It's the lyrical miracle mouthpiece from South Street. Guess who the rapper, aka the Grand Ambassador of Flesh Dynasty, here to lace your brain for some of this incredible and glorious game. Once again, man. And before I say, you know what I'm saying, get started. You like yourself, hit that like button. Like someone else, hit that share button. But if you love yourself, you know what I mean, hit that subscribe button. And if you want to get your constant certification, hit that notification button, man, so you'll be notified every time a video is dropped. Now, what I want to talk about tonight, man, is there's a scripture in the Bible that says in Hosea 4 and 6 that my people are destroyed for lack of knowledge, right? And in the vernacular of the streets, you know what I mean, and people, you know, from my environment or whatever, we equate knowledge in the vernacular or the slang term game. So we'll say, you know, my people are destroyed for lack of game or lack of knowledge. You know what I'm saying? And where am I going with this is that I ain't gonna lie, I spent the whole day helping out somebody else online, being a moderator on TikTok. And they, you know, we share the same similar beliefs in the Bible and stuff like that. And by me doing that, you know, I became like a moderator, helping her out, you know, navigating the channel and stuff like that. But what I discovered is that being on TikTok, bro, TikTok to me has become like a haven for the strange people with strange ideas, strange concepts, strange ideologies. It appears that a lot of them are socially awkward. They're social misfits. And, you know, lack of a better word, they're kind of weirdos. You know what I mean? Like, they're not peculiar. They're weirdos. You know what I'm saying? And I don't know if y'all ever been on TikTok, but you have a lot of strange things occurring that I was not familiar with. See, prior to being, you know, bedridden or, you know, in the house all the time, or even people going through the pandemic, you know, you're beginning to pay attention to certain things like online. And you be like, yo, man, let me just scroll and, you know what I mean, and see what's popping online. And you know what I'm saying, you just be like, and what I've discovered is getting on TikTok, man, I was like, I would have never known that a lot of these people existed had it not been for this phone. Because when I was growing up, when we had interactions with people, we met them face to face. It wasn't all this technology and it wasn't all this, you know what I mean, going on, you know what I'm saying? We would actually meet people. If you wanted to approach a girl or talk to a girl, you meet her online. You don't meet her online, you met her face to face. You know, we would go out into social groups or clubs and nightclubs and, you know, gatherings, lounges or functions, and even what you call that, conferences and stuff like that. You'll meet them face to face. That way you could get a better reaction, or to, you know, a close encounter of the first through the sixth kind with a person. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like you meeting people via this, and it's a strange and bizarre way to meet people or discover that these people are, that they're in existence, that you wouldn't even know exist, because you would never come across them, because a lot of them appear to me as socially awkward, or they're social misfits, meaning they're not going to, you probably would never run into them, because they're the type that they may shy away from social gatherings or meeting people like that socially, because they kind of know that they're a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs and you don't meet them. You know what I mean? And then when you go back and look at some of these serial killers or weird people, strange, they were always socially withdrawn, because they had, not all of them, because you have people like Ted Bundy and all that, but some of them, but majority, by and large, you could tell there's something not quite right. You know what I'm saying? And when you don't have, like me, I was gifted the gift of discernment. That's my spiritual gift. And you can quite discern this, you know what I mean, when you're having those close encounters with people. But if you don't, if you don't have that information, man, or that just the spiritual gift of discernment, if you don't have some game about it, like experiences and knowing this information, you be like, man, you could be out there, caught out there, you know what I'm saying? For the lack of game, you know what I mean? To not understanding who you dealing with, because you're dealing with a socially awkward individual, you know what I'm saying? Socially awkward individual. And it's like, man, you people are strange, and a lot of people are meeting people online, creating relationships with them, and getting tied up into their weird antics and weird behaviors. And they're giving them all kind of red flags because they're meeting their representative. Why did I bring up TikTok? I started seeing that a lot of things are occurring on TikTok. It's becoming a platform for people who have strange practices, even people that are practicing dark arts. Like, have y'all seen the rise of tarot all over the internet? Like the rise of girls, shuffling cards and reading tarot cards, and some of them straight tarot, some of them are fake tarot. But the thing is, they're shuffling cards and flipping them over, and I didn't even know these people. It's like they're coming out of the closet on these platforms. Some people are coming out with different doctrines concerning the Bible. You got these people called where they're doing what they call deconstructing from the Bible. So what deconstruction means is that whatever they're being taught, in the Bible, they're deconstructing it, or destroying it to become either atheist or the type of atheists that don't believe in God or whatever, and to discredit the Bible. These are found on TikTok. If y'all go on my page, and you'll see a lot of things that I have titled before I start speaking on camera and stuff like that. You'll see I got to highlight TikTok, and you'll start to see the people that I was having discussions with and their doctrines on the Bible. Some people saying that Jesus Christ is a transgender woman, saying God is evil. What was it? The Archangel Michael is Jesus Christ. I've heard all of this, and today when I was helping out, shout out to Gene, who has a platform on TikTok, who I was help moderating. A gentleman came up there and said that God is David because Christ is sitting on the throne of prophesied to sit on the throne of David, and David is his father, so therefore God and David are one and the same. And I was just like, yo, man, you got to be careful out here, man. It's the lack of information. So it's like our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. Our people are destroyed for lack of game to discern like what's true and what's not. And why did I bring that part up? Because that's just the spiritual side. Now I'm going to go further in depth when it comes to the physical side, or seeking a physical intimacy or companionship on another level, but I'm going to just touch on it here in a bit. On the physical side, here it is, people are opting to do this to meet their significant other. And growing up in our era, I'm kind of married to my era, you know what I'm saying? 80s, 90s, early 2000s, you know what I mean? Where it wasn't so much technology, we would meet them face to face. These people are actually meeting and online dating and meeting people online, you know what I'm saying? And they turn out to be, majority of the time, they turn out to be off the rocker, they off the chain, you know what I mean? That online dating and all that, they're meeting the representative. They're not meeting that real person. They're meeting the person, the representative of who that person professes themselves to be, but in reality, they're not that at all. They're reserved, quiet, shy, introverts, or they're completely out of their mind, or strange and weird by and large, because they know that they're socially awkward. You know what I mean? They're social misfits, like I call them, social misfits. So I'm like, what happened to, interaction with, with the person face to face, being outside, and everybody got their head buried in the phone, and you walk up to somebody, they had, even me, getting caught up with your head buried in the phone. You just like, nah, man. And, when you are, and a lot of people end up destroyed from the lack of that type of information, man. And this generation is growing up without that information or that experience that information can provide you. You know what I mean? The fact that a lot of these people are socially awkward. And on TikTok, man, there's a lot of strange people on there promoting strange doctrines. They got some people called Yaju Judah. I never even heard of them. You know what I mean? It's just a lot of weird stuff going on online. If y'all don't believe me, go on my page, on my YouTube channel, and you'll see different debates of people me debating atheists and all kind of weird, strange people. You know what I'm saying? And I just came to the conclusion that the Bible is, the scriptures is coming off the page. It's like, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge. People don't know who they are according to the Bible, who their genealogy is according to the Bible, their culture, their background, and who God is, period. In the regular physical world, they don't understand that they don't have natural interactions anymore. Everything is artificial. So it's like now artificial intelligence, or AI, isn't just a digital mechanism from some software that someone made up. It's actually a state of mind. Online, meaning people artificially, you know what I mean, addicted to pixels and images and likes, comments, views, and you know what I mean, and Instagram models that you can't physically touch. But a lot of men are breaking themselves, meaning giving their hard-earned money unto a fantasy, via a fantasy of hoping or the illusion of one day meeting such person that they are getting an image or digital image of, and they are paying money. You got OnlyFans, you know what I'm saying, of men breaking themselves, or tricking off on women that they will never see. You know what I mean? It kind of makes you think about stuff like, dang, you know what I mean? Even when, like, pornography, you thinking that you with that actual woman and you're not. It's like it really makes you diminish it, like diminish that participation in that whole cyber world, this whole digital world, this whole social media. It's not real. And you don't have that knowledge, and the lack of game, you could be destroyed thinking that it's real when it's not. Some of the people are seeking significant others on these online platforms and thinking it's going to be one way when it's not. You know what I mean? And then emotionally, or in your soulish realm, you wind up with the result of disappointment or frustration, or total bewilderment or perplexity. You know what I mean? And ultimately confused. Some have allowed without said information, concrete with their relationship with God, has strayed away from God by succumbing to some of these doctrines, or succumbing to some of these relationships and stuff like that. They're artificially meeting, and it leads you to think that, dang, is this what idolatry is? Like, this is kind of like idolatry, and this thing is kind of Satan's way become of our new God. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's retarded. It's weird. I'm just sharing with y'all what I feel like, I need to share with y'all. Y'all be careful out there, man. Everything don't have to be artificial. You can meet people generally. Stay off some of these platforms, and some of these women reading cards, and you know what I mean, trying to give you a certain type of revelation. What we call in church is a devilation. You know what I mean? A revelation from the devil. Yeah, you can receive that, but not a revelation from God. You know what I mean? And our people are destroyed for lack of knowledge. If you don't study to show yourself approved, you can be pulled away from the knowledge of God. You could be pulled away from the knowledge of yourself, believing that you're something that you're not. And and your expectations could be unfruitful. Expecting a person you met online to be who they really say, to be they're really weirdos. That's why they're on there in the first place. You know what I mean? They're really weird. You didn't meet them organically. Therefore, you ain't having a GMO, genetically modified, you know what I'm saying, organism. You know what I'm saying? Meeting this person, they're really AI, artificial intelligence, and without that information, to insulate you from that, you can be destroyed, man. And this is just part one, or maybe part two of like I was saying, yeah, man, you gotta be careful, you know what I mean, enter into these relationships, man, what lack of information, and it'll better your situation, you know what I mean, if you acknowledge, that what's your knowledge in your surroundings, and be too heavily reliant upon these this platform and this artificial interaction with other people, man. So this gonna be like a part one or part two of lack of game, and this is just my little situation that I came across today here on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Meeting and these strange, weird people that you're meeting online. Y'all be careful out there, man. Be careful, of meeting people and meeting up with people online, and online dating. That's cool. It seems like that's the new wave or whatever, and that's where this world is going. But hey, have some game about yourself. You know what I'm saying? Have some information, man. Observe the situation and preserve your life by having a direct conversation and confrontation with that person, or having a close encounter of the first, second, third, fourth, fifth, and sixth kind with that individual. All right? You know what I'm saying? I'll explain the close encounter later. I'll explain more and get more in depth on the lack of game, especially when it pertains to online dating and what I've experienced. and what I've heard other people experience. So, you know, with that being said, you have a blast past while now and greater later. Live the life of your design so you can have a good time for your lifetime. Live the life of his design so your life will be divine for the rest of your lifetime. It's Guess the Rapper, aka the Grand Ambassador of Flesh Dynasty, here to lace your brain with some incredible and glorious game as your host in the capacity of the reluctant YouTuber. Y'all be blessed and y'all have a good one. Peace.